welcome to my key activity. This is my friend Emilio Haynes Perez, and he's from Spain. So, dear friend, I'm gonna make you a few questions about hunger in general. So the first question is, what do you think about hunger in America, Africa, and Europe?
I think it's a very important problem that people need to solve, especially in Africa. In Africa, a lot of people are dying of hunger every single day. But also in America, because all of the immigrants that are trying to cross from Mexico to the United States are suffering a lot from hunger. And that's something that people in Mexico should take a look at and try to feed the immigrants.
Absolutely agree with you. Do you know the causes of hunger in your country, in this case, Spain?
A lot of people are going hungry because of unemployment, but mostly Spain is not a country where a lot of people are hungry. The government fortunately has a lot of programs to solve the issue, but at least very few people who are dying of hunger in Spain is because of unemployment.
All right. And the third question is, do you know any cases of hunger near you?
Near me, well, probably if you go outside of tech, in every single red light, you're gonna see people who are always like asking for money. Those are probably the most common cases or close cases that I know of people with hunger, but thankfully none of people in my life are suffering from that, thankfully.
All right. And do you know any association that works to avoid hunger?
I have heard of UNICEF. They are helping people and kids starving in Africa, but other than that, I do not know any other organization.
All right. The fifth and last question is, what actions do you take for you not to fall into poverty and hunger?
For me, well, it's not really up to me because it's my parents the ones who pay for all of my stuff. So I think the question is better to be aimed to them. But they're working and they're trying to give me the best life that I can. So I'm really grateful for that to them.
All right. Thank you so much, Haynes, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Valeria.
See, this is my friend Jamile. She's from Brazil. So, dear Jamile, I'm gonna make you a few questions about hunger in general. So, the first question is, what do you think about hunger in America, Africa, and Europe?
I think there is hunger, but especially in Brazil, is a conflict because the government doesn't care enough, and there's a lot of people there, and the food isn't distributed how it should be.
All right. And the second question is, do you know the causes of hunger in your country, in this case, Brazil?
I know a few. I don't know the main cause, but I know that it's because there's a lot of people without scholar,
like economic resources also.
Yeah, that. That's a big
problem. All right. The third question is, do you know any cases of hunger near you?
No, thank God, no. Not near me.
All right. The fourth question is, do you know any association that works to avoid hunger?
In Brazil specifically, no.
What actions do you take for you not to fall into poverty and hunger?
I think studying, because that opens a lot of doors and that helps to know what's happening and stop the hunger.
All right. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
Okay.
This is my friend Annie Jaquith. So she's from the US, and dear Annie, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Number one, what do you think about hunger in America, Africa, and Europe?
I think that it's an issue that's very important to address. There is, for example, Mexico is in America, and the majority of the population lives in poverty. So hunger is a very pertinent issue. I think it's important to look to our governments and organizations to help fix it.
Okay. Number two, do you know the causes of hunger in your country?
Well, the United States has a pretty low hunger rate. Obviously, there's still a lot of poverty, but they have many programs that have helped eliminate the majority of the hunger. But I don't know much more about it.
Okay, do you know any cases of hunger near you?
Well, as I'm currently living in Mexico, yeah, I have seen people who are hungry and who are begging for food. I've been able to go out and volunteer and help bring food to people. And then in the United States, same, I've done something that's called a soup kitchen, where you make soup or food for homeless people.
Do you know any association that works to avoid hunger?
There's just like the UN, the United Nations. I know that they do a lot to work with hunger. The soup kitchen. I went with an organization called The House here in Guadalajara to help give food and other resources. But other than that, I don't know anymore.
What actions do you take for you not to fall into poverty and hunger?
Luckily, I mean, I come from a very privileged background, and I recognize that, so it is unlikely for me. It's likely that I will be supported my whole life, which is insane, but I think that I definitely want to become more independent and try to use my privilege to help other people who are in worse situations than me. And I think things that I could do to prevent me from falling into poverty is making sure I have a secure job, making sure I save financially, I'm smart with my money.
Thank you.